Silver prices nearly quadrupled between January 2025 and January 2026, making one of the most significant market rallies in history. This has a lot of folks chasing the metal and completely overlooking the much more profitable way to invest in the silver boom. I'm talking about the much more lucrative trade with silver mining stocks. That's why today I'm breaking down the three silver mining stocks I'm most bullish on right now. Helping me find these top picks is the Zen Ratings quant model that analyzes each stock across 115 different fundamental metrics. This points to stocks that typically do 3 times better than the overall market. So in this video, we will cover all three silver mining tickers, every key number, nothing held back. So let's get into it. But first, let me tell you, I'm Steve Reitmeister. I've been investing for over 4 decades. After serving as editor-in-chief at Zacks.com, I'm now a partner at WallStreetZen.com, where we focus on the real data that helps everyday investors top the market. And if you like videos like this, hit that like button. It tells me that you want to see more topics like this in the future. First, some important background on why to invest in silver miners instead of physical silver. In a word, it's all about leverage. Investing in silver miners is not the same as owning silver. When you buy physical silver, you're making a one-to-one bet on the price. Silver goes up 10%, you make 10%. That's it, that's all. But miners provide a much more leveraged bet on silver. That's because everything above their all-in sustaining cost drops right to the bottom line. Now, for most companies, that all-in sustaining cost is around $25 per ounce. Now, watch what happens. At $30 per ounce for silver, they make $5 in profit per ounce. At $90, they make $65 in profit. Now, that 3x rally in silver is very nice. No one's going home hungry, but not as nice as the 13x increase in profitability that generally dries up miner shares by a similar amount. That, my friends, is the leverage we are talking about. Now, here's the problem. Most silver miners are poorly run businesses. We're talking about low quality assets, weak balance sheets, constant dilution, and it shows up in the data. When we run the entire precious metals universe through our system, many names come out with underwhelming C or even D ratings because of the low safety, weak financials, and poor execution. Gladly, there were 3 hidden gems in this pile of silver mining rubble that scores in the top 12% of our Zen Ratings system. Now, these are the 3 we're focusing on today, and I'm saving the one with the highest upside potential for last, so keep watching all the way to the end. Let's get things rolling with stock number 1 in Pan American Silver with a symbol of PAAS. This is the largest primary silver producer in the world with operations across Mexico, Peru, Argentina, Bolivia, and Canada. So right away, it gives you geographic diversification where they can lean into the top producing properties. They produce about 25 million ounces of silver annually, plus gold and base metals as byproducts. And that matters because those byproducts lower their effective cost of silver production. So while other miners are fighting cost inflation, Pan American is offsetting it effectively. All right. Given the recent elevated silver prices, they are enjoying a massive surge in free cash flow. Plus, they actually have a strong balance sheet, allowing them to effectively return capital to shareholders and then reinvest in growth. All this fundamental prowess shows up prominently in their Zen ratings, where they are in the top 1% of all 4,600 stocks in our universe. Plus, they are the top rated silver miner in our system today. The company receives great ratings across nearly all Zen ratings component scores. In fact, they are in the top 20% of all stocks in each of these key categories. We're talking about financial strength, reflecting a strong balance sheet, growing cash flow, and manageable debt. Sentiment, as the smart money is already wise to these shares. Growth, momentum, and our AI factors are all in the top 20% as well. This is a well-rounded and impressive investment profile. Turning to Wall Street, there is a very favorable analyst coverage as all of the covering analysts give it a buy or strong buy rating. That's impressive when you consider the stock price has already more than doubled in the past 12 months. But you can also count that as a potential risk because our Zen rating score for value is only a middle of the pack C. But with silver prices expected to rise once again in 2026, driven by supply shortages and strong demand from solar, EV, and industrial growth, then Pan American Silver is still very much a stock worth watching, especially as the top-ranked silver miner according to the Zen ratings. By the way, if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and hit subscribe, then turn on that notification bell. That's because I release new videos like this several times per week, and this is the best way to guarantee you see the fresh stock picks when they first come out. Now we dig up stock number 2 in Wheaton Precious Metals with a symbol of WPM. Okay, so this one is somewhat unique. Wheaton Precious Metals is not actually a miner. It's a streaming company. We're not talking about the streaming company like Netflix and Hulu. Here's how streaming works in the mining industry. They give upfront capital to mining companies in exchange for the right to buy silver and gold at fixed below market prices. So they don't operate mines, they don't deal with equipment failures, labor strikes, or political disruptions. They just collect metal at locked-in cost. Now here's the part that should get your attention. Wheaton's cost for silver is just around $6 per ounce. Now with silver above 70, that's roughly $65 in profit per ounce. That's software level margins in a commodities-based business. Now, because those streaming contracts are locked in for decades, every sustained move higher just adds more to the bottom line and the value of these shares. Therefore, it's a little surprise it gets excellent grades from our Zen Ratings system in this environment. It's overall A rating, which means strong buy. Now, remember that top tier stocks has historically delivered 32.52% annual returns going back to 2003. That's about 3 times higher than the S&P 500. Growth component grade scored a B as the revenue scales directly with metal prices, which without cost inflation. And momentum and sentiment also get solid B ratings as volumes are increasing and institutions are actively buying these shares. Wall Street analysts are also giving WPM a big thumbs up. Of the 8 analysts we track, there are 4 strong buys and 4 buy recommendations. However, like other silver-exposed companies, there are risks. The stock is vulnerable to silver price swings, and its balance sheet may not be as robust as some to withstand significant economic shocks. But all things considered, it remains a compelling stock to watch, especially if you are betting on more upside for silver prices. Before I move on to the final stock on my list today, here's a chance to see how I put the Zen Rating system into action. That's because I have uncovered a few stocks with significant upside potential that deserve your attention right now. You can get them now in my free special report, 3 stocks to double this year. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get access instantly. All right. We have made it to our third and final stock today in First Majestic Silver with a symbol of AG. I know that name sounds like it's a My Little Pony name, but it's not. It's actually one of the purest silver plays you can buy in the public markets, and analysts project about 40% upside potential in the year ahead for these shares. First Majestic is a primary silver miner, operating multiple mines in Mexico and producing roughly 26 million silver equivalent ounces per year. Now, here's what's interesting. They actually sell silver directly to retail investors through their own bullion stores. They cut out the middleman. That's rare and makes for a compelling investment proposition. Once again, the real story here is leverage. This company struggled when silver was $20 to $25 per ounce. Margins were very tight and the balance sheet was getting stretched. But now, with much higher silver prices, their profit margins are exploding. This is your high conviction, high leverage play for silver miners. Once again, we have an A-rated stock according to Zen Ratings based on the overall fundamental strength. The growth component grade also stands out as an A. That's because revenue and profits have been surging consistently in recent quarters. Momentum is a B, putting the top 20% of stock. That's because institutional investors are piling into these shares. First Majestic is only covered by 2 Wall Street analysts right now. That's a positive in my book because growing companies typically pick up new buy ratings that act as catalysts to boost shares higher in the future. Now, the key to the current coverage is the analysts pounding the table the most for shares is calling for 40% upside in the year ahead, and of course, even more over the long haul. As for the risk, they get a lowly D for their safety rating. That's no doubt because of the extra volatility that goes hand in hand with precious metal miners. All in all, First Majestic offers pure high leverage exposure to rising silver prices, meaning the more that silver keeps climbing, the more their profits rise and the higher the share price will go. Now, don't think of these as just 3 random picks. Think of it as a mini curated silver stock portfolio. Each one plays a role, and here's the key point. If silver stays above $70 an ounce, all 3 of these companies are well positioned through 2026 and beyond. And silver drops to, let's say, the $50, they're still profitable, just not as profitable. That's a pretty high floor supporting these shares. Also worth reminding you that all 3 stocks score in the top 12% of all stocks analyzed by our Zen Ratings quant model. That points to impressive fundamentals that generally paves the way to share price outperformance. Fortunately, most of the miners we looked at did not measure up, not even close. Now, please remember, these are the stocks that score well in our system right now. However, the ratings change daily. If you want to check the Zen ratings for these stocks or any other, they are free on our website at WallStreetZen.com. The link is in the description, or scan the QR code. Now, I want to know, do you like the silver trade right now? And which of the three silver stocks do you like the most? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you like these silver stocks, then be sure to check out my companion video that features the strongest gold miners on the market right now.